welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. It is one of my favorite days of the week, Wednesday, Web Design Wednesday, where we play Yes and UI. If you're new here, Yes and UI is a fun little segment I invented, I guess, where I use the tenets of improv. Yes, improv comedy, turtlenecks, stage, poetic snapping, I don't know. Specifically long form improv, kind of the world building, teamwork aspect of it. I guess it's all improv, but I use those rules to move myself through the app idea creating process, and then I start wireframing, the user interface design. So the way this works is I pull up a random word generator. I get 7 randomly generated words, and then I start playing word association with myself, talking through different applications for the word, kind of expanding my understanding of words' meanings, how they could tie together. And then from there, I try to come up with some sort of unique, sometimes off-the-wall app idea. And with no set time parameters, from there, I then move into wireframing. Today, I am feeling a little brave, feeling a little fun, and I want to set a timer like an arbitrary timer, and when that goes off, it's going to be my cue to pull up another random word generator and or kind of find something on the internet that throws a wrench into everything that I have been doing. That's something that, while I've been thinking about my Yes and UI episodes, that is missing, I guess, about the essence of improv from what I'm doing here. Obviously, improv is a very collaborative craft. And so the fact that I am doing it alone in my office, talking to myself, is already not necessarily the heart of improv, but just kind of using the mindset, the philosophies, if you will. And I figured another way that I can kind of simulate that teamwork or embracing what is being thrown at you, thinking on the spot, building in the face of adversity, all of those wonderful, beautiful things that I could go on and on and on about improv being so good about teaching people about life and the human condition. I won't get into it, but I want to get into it, if you can tell. Simulating that in this context. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I probably should figure that out now, right? Because rules, because structure. Okay. So I'm going to set like probably a 10-minute timer, and when that 10-minute timer goes off, I am going to I'm trying to think of something. I'm going to BuzzFeed, and the first non-serious article, webpage headline, workplace appropriate and non-serious headline, I am going to have to figure out how to integrate into the app. So some semblance of something from that I have to work into the app. That's what I'm deciding now. I'm going to set the timer as soon as I generate my random words. And then we're going to roll with that. Okay. How does that sound? This is my first time doing this modification. So everyone bear with me. I don't know how it's gonna go. I may be a dud, but we gotta yes and our way through it. The way that I also like to sort of proof of concept this is that we start with 7 randomly generated words. I'm going to show you while I generate them. So this is my favorite little website. Someday this will be a sponsored plug. This is randomwordgenerator.com, and I'm going to refresh these words, right? So these are new to me. Okay. Entitlement, rough, mold, pill, owner, white, and hostility. Already, those are feeling loaded. Okay, so what I do next is generally I just copy and paste those words from the website into a notes app. I also will put them just into Adobe XD. Reason being, sometimes Safari will make crazy noises. Those crazy noises being the ads on that random word generator website, and they spook me. So I just like to have like the randomly generated words somewhere like more accessible for me. I use Adobe XD. We are kind of transitioning to Figma, but I'm still kind of learning the ropes for that. That would be another great way to that would be very much the heart of improv. To just start rolling with Figma on the live streams. Maybe I'll do that next time, but we're not going to do it today. Just because this is so fast paced. And I don't want it to be like watching paint dry. All right. So I've got my words copied and pasted. I'm running the show here. So I got to come back to my OBS streaming panel. We're going to switch application capture from Safari to XD so you can see what I am working on. And we are going to be back to XD now. So you can see I've got the words copied and pasted. Now I'm going to set a timer that will probably inevitably scare the living daylights out of me. What did we say, 15 minutes or 10? I'm going to go ahead and go with 10. Setting it now. And let's word association our way through this. So we've got entitlement, rough, mold, pill, owner, white, and hostility. Golly gee. Right now I'm dealing with like a lot of household stuff. I just moved, and so mold immediately jumps out to me thinking through. So there's that new feature on your phone that I think it's local to the app on iPhone now, where you can take a picture of like a plant and it will tell you what the plant it is. I know apps have been doing this for a bit. But the idea of being able to like test for mold, but with a photo, is coming to mind. Pill, I feel like that could also apply to pills. Being able to take a picture of a controlled substance and figure out what it is. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of things that already exist in the real world that help do that. So those are not standout ideas to me yet. Rough. If I think about rough, immediately I think I take the emotional sense of it, because I feel like I most use the word rough to describe, oh man, like that's tough, like that's rough, oh, that sounds rough. But obviously texture does that too. So now I am thinking about the pill, the mold thing now with rough in addition to it. I'm almost curious if you could take a picture of a texture and it would help you figure out what you're working with. Or maybe is there a reverse engineered version of that where you can somehow, oh my gosh, those like toys that kids get that are basically like a whole bunch of little pins, and if you put your hand on it, it makes the shape of a hand. What if like you could do that with your phone, and the phone, in the same way that it reads your Face ID, it would scan like a texture and help identify the texture. So pill, see, another version of pill, I didn't know this, but apparently it's like, I don't know if it's old. It's one that I haven't heard commonly used, except I've had like people in my life that have used it, and it always makes me laugh. But is this appropriate also? But to call someone a pill is kind of like calling someone like a square, or like just they're like not fun to be around from the contexts I've heard it used in. That's what I would deduce. So I guess there's that. variant of that word. Okay, we haven't even touched owner, white, hostility, or entitlement. Um, owner, take ownership of something. Owner and entitlement could go hand in hand in some regard. Hostility. Hostility, what comes to mind is I think about how apparently Google Translate has like a new watch thing where if you are like abroad, it will translate what you're saying, and then like basically it real time translates and then helps you like return a response or whatever. I'm thinking about the mom translator on SNL, that sketch where it's Jake Gyllenhaal and it reverses and you say Joe Geronimo and then your mom knows who you're talking about. Go look up that sketch if you are not already familiar. It's a great one. But I'm thinking about like an app that does that, but when people are being hostile or like when people are super duper passive aggressive and you feel like you're having to walk on eggshells around them, like an app that works with like in the same way that Google Translate does, but like navigates navigates the passive aggression for you. For whatever reason, hostility and rough and entitlement all feel like they tie together in that way. There's other words on that list that could work with that too. But I won't. Let's see. Frankly, I think the best idea so far is like, I don't even know where to start with this, but the texture diagnostic app. And I feel like that ties in rough and mold and pill because I kind of already was thinking about, okay, like an app that scans something and identifies it. But I like the idea that we're going to pull from rough and do it that way. Another thing that comes to mind too, what was it? It was mold that got me talking about how I just moved recently. I'm a big texture girly, I'm learning. When it comes to picking out furniture, boucle is like all the rage right now. And it's like that, like, we call it, in my family, we call it dirty bear texture because I have a stuffed animal bear that got really, really dirty growing up, and he became like my favorite. He came from a little putt-putt, like a Build-A-Bear vending machine at our local putt-putt place. And I spilled iced tea on him while sick, and my mom washed him, and he came out of the washing machine matted and gray, and it was a little white bear that I had named Fluffy. And so now that boucle, and so but over the years, because that like became my favorite stuffed animal, I would like get sweatshirts and such that were like terry cloth and stuff, or like just sort of any sort of like beige white cream thing that is like sort of textured. I have always been drawn to it because I call it like, it's Dirty Bear. It's like a Dirty Bear sweatshirt, or it's like a Dirty Bear whatever. And now that we are in the day and age where boucle is so chic, I'm like able to buy stuff and then it's like, oh, it's my Dirty Bear bed frame. Oh, like I've got a fancy dining table and I have Dirty Bear chairs at it. You know what I mean? I don't actually, but my sister just got some dining chairs that are boucle, and I can't help but laugh because they're Dirty Bear chairs. But the point of that, why I went on that tangent, is because I feel like that has a lot to do with this app, Rough, that diagnoses a texture. I don't really know how useful or helpful this would be, but I think the Yes and UI apps get to be kind of stupid. So I'm just going to call it Rough, except let's go ahead and decide that we're calling it RUFF, and it's going to have like some sort of little dog logo. And the brand identity is kind of cutesy in that we're like sniffing out like bloodhound style, figuring out what something is. I'm coming for you, Duolingo owl. I almost said parrot, and hey, I'm sorry. I actually don't want to come for the Duolingo parrot, even almost, because I've been following the social media presence of it, and it is quite impressive, to say the least, but also intimidating. That is someone whose bad side I am not interested in getting in the way of. And so I would like to think that the Rough app is actually really, really great friends with the Duolingo owl. Okay, so at this point, I'm like actually getting hung up on just what font I want to use. Go figure. I'm a graphic design person. I like fonts. Boom. I'm just like counting down. I'm so aware that I like that this font. So the reason I have this font is because it looks like the SpongeBob font. I kind of like that it looks like it has texture. And then I don't know why, but I've been just dying to do some sort of branding that has the words spelled across two different. Like, I've just been dying to do something like that. But the more I see it, the less I like it. It's kind of swanky, though. Rough. I don't know. What do we think? Is that just off the wall enough to be acceptable? You know what? Yes, it is. And I'm kidding. Okay, so let's think. I told y'all it was gonna freak me out. Okay, so time to go to BuzzFeed. I'm not going to screen share for BuzzFeed because things get dicey when we screen share BuzzFeed. But take my word for it. You can go look at BuzzFeed yourself right now. I'm just pulling from the homepage. Okay, so the number one. Okay, so the first article is a Megan Fox article. I'm going to click on it to make sure that it is safe for work. Is it? Like, what is this? Like, what does this mean? Oh. Ooh, okay, I'm glad I Googled it. Hold on. I'm looking it up on my phone because I frankly don't want to look it up on my work computer. Is this... Hey, yeah, so not appropriate. But if you want to see what it is, go ahead, go to BuzzFeed. It's the Megan Fox article. That one is... Okay. Okay, we are going to go with headline number 4. Feels like it may be the most appropriate. It is 13 gutting celebrity confessions about how terrible Hollywood and being famous actually are. Number 1 on the list is a Jennifer Lawrence one. She's describing or recalling a degrading experience she had while shooting a film that she's chosen not to name. And, alrighty. I don't want to water down that experience. In fact, a lot of these, well, understandably so, a lot of these accounts of celebrityhood are as described Kind of intense. But I just have to do the headline. I have to make something of the headline. 13 gutting celebrity confessions about how terrible Hollywood and being famous actually are. How can we tie that in to this app? So how terrible Hollywood and being famous actually are. Okay, I'll bite. We could make a subscription model for the app that helps you scan and identify what, like, walk with me here. You probably travel a lot when you're a celebrity, and you do. Celebrities travel a lot, no? Which means that they are often staying in like hotels. They are often inhabiting spaces that are not their own necessarily, and that they don't have much say over. Would that be fair to say? And like, let's think about a hotel for a second, right? And the stereotype of like, you flip up the sheets and look for bed bugs, and you worry about whatever stains you see wherever. I think that's probably the tie-in, that maybe this app has a subscription model for like personal assistants, I guess, and the personal assistants get special access to biohazard scanning, maybe. How's that sound? Yeah, we'll go with that. So let's keep work. Oh, maybe too, it could like, who's to say like craft services doesn't have a sandwich that's been on the table for like 9 hours, that like the bologna is like looking a little bit, I don't know why I went with bologna, but something on the craft service table is looking a little bit questionable, right? The cottage cheese, is this the right texture? So maybe there is just like a premium version that is aware of more posh things, and like in the same way, is it Raya that is like Tinder for celebrities? Maybe there's like a Raya for rough. I don't know. Let's go with that. We actually haven't wireframed anything yet, so really I've just been talking. Okay. So when we think through what this app is and what launching and using it will be like, when do you pull up the app? You pull up the app when you have interacted with something in the real world that is shocking and disgusting, or bewildering and delightful, that you want to figure out, what on earth is this? I want to buy a dining room chair made of whatever this is, right? So there's going to be a launch screen, and then basically you open up right into the camera app. So I'm going to... somewhere on this screen, I have my plugins. There we go. Flat icons. I hate to say it, but the flat icons have been letting me down. I was expecting it to be like easy, stupid, simple icons. I didn't expect them to be so... like, do you see how like PixArt these are? You know... but they get the job done right now. So this is a camera. We're going to open up to the camera screen, basically. But I pulled a little camera icon on because once it gives you like the diagnostic screen of what it is, that's what we'll need. Let me pull up like a screenshot of camera on iPhone. Screenshot. I guess I just kind of wanted some sort of image to blur as the background, but I guess that feels like cheating a little bit. Let's stay local. By local, I mean just like in Adobe XD. And I'm going to get a UI face from Unsplash. And I'm mostly just like scanning and looking for, like, how about this? This feels offensive though. Like, no tier shade to this guy that is being used as like the camera. We're not scanning you to find out what your texture is. I just need something that, like, I just need something to blur as like a camera. So then we lighten it. Can I not blur something from Unsplash? Hold on. I forgot I have a vectorize plugin. Ugh, y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, I guess what we'll do is, instead of like an image, I'll just do an angular or a linear gradient to be kind of like, hey, this is like your phone camera. Okay, so this is just what the this is your phone camera. And then from there, we need a scan button. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm going to add a drop shadow to that. Make it look real pretty, fun, cool. Something about it feels like it should be... So we'll keep it white. And then, oh, perfect, white. Yeah, we'll keep it white. And then I see when you press that, a little pop-up that says press and hold to scan. Oh, we need something to flip cameras. Obviously, all of these are like built-in. We would ingest the native icons, right? So when you open up your phone camera and you flip your camera on iPhone, we're just going to use those same icons within the app. So that's what this is simulating. We do want the rough logo. I guess we don't need the logo when we're in this screen. So we have launch and then we have camera. We want launch to be as fast as possible though, because like this is in the wild that you're having to diagnose things. This kind of looks like the hash slinging slasher from SpongeBob. And you know what? We're going to follow that vibe. Rough's branding is going to be neon yellow. And we'll go ahead and do, for the text, or what if we did neon yellow for the text? And for the back, we did, whoa, how did that happen? Honestly, there's too many apps right now though that are yellow. Like off the top of my head, I can think of a few. Pink feels weird. What if we follow the boucle bliss? Boucle is usually like cream colored, but I have a boucle blanket that's like this mauve. So we're going to do that. Rough. And then this kind of fits the Lux idea that we have Raya rough. And celebrities are using this too. Or publicists. I don't know. So you flip the camera. You press and hold to scan. So in my mind, then when you do this, this is going to become like a cylinder to signify like, okay, an elongated period of time. We'll do the drop shadow too. Or I guess no, we'll take drop shadow off of this one so that we can keep it as a cylinder. Frankly, that's ugly. Huh. Imagine that. How do I fix this? Like, that's just not what I wanted. I want it to, like... Oh, I'm so stupid. Y'all. I wanted a pill shape, and I did that. I'm so embarrassed. All in a day's work. Okay, so... In my mind, that, like, inches down... So you press and hold the scan, and then watch this will be cool. I don't know if I've actually shown y'all how things can animate on this. But let me show you that now. So press and hold to scan, and we're going to make this a more user interfacey font rather than a branded font. So we're going to go with Montserrat. If you know me, you know that's my favorite user interface font. Press and hold to scan. I always do title case for these little. So we're going to downsize. And let's, instead of extra light, let's do light. Or medium. Let's make sure this is... No! I didn't want that to be all caps. Okay. We're at 30 minutes right now. Let me show you how I prototype this, because I don't think I've ever prototyped on a Yes and UI episode. So we are going to click. So the trigger is tap for this. And we want, I'm just going to set all my transitions to auto animate right now. So this basically means that, watch, when I click this, it does that. How do I close out of these things? There we go. Okay. That's not quite how I wanted it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to try out. Because usually the auto animation works better if you're copying and pasting the same thing. So I want this. So here's how I actually need to do this. Okay, so what I want it to do is when I prototype it, I want it to auto animate to make this circle grow into this pill shape. There's no way to turn a circle into a pill shape, so I'm going to have to turn the pill shape into the circle. So I'm taking this, I'm taking a square, and I'm turning it into a pill shape by doing that. And then we're going to make it as circular as possible. I think that, okay, so that's pretty good, right? I want it to be a little smaller. But so now this should do what I want it to do when I prototype it. So you press and hold so you tap it, and then it's going to come up and prompt you to press and hold to scan. And center that. So good. Make it a little bit longer. And then it will turn back into a circle, but it will be a green circle. And I don't know why, I kind of want it to like, I kind of want there to be like little haptic rays. Cool. And then I'm going to take this. Text box usually don't change anything. And we'll just do a scanning ... And then in my mind, like some sort of something moves up and down the screen, which I can't really do. Well, I could figure out how to do that. But okay, so we launch. What I do for launch screens is I do a time triggered transition. So I'll set it to a delay of 1 second, and I will set an easing out. And then this one, we are going to tap to trigger it. Oh, I have to delete this link that already exists. So we tap to trigger this one. Tap. It's going to auto animate, and I wanted to use in and out, I think we'll try. And then to watch it play, you do this. So I'll tap to animate it and see it grew how I wanted it to. Now if I come in and I press and hold, so we tap to auto animate, and I'm going to see if I can snap this one. And I'm going to set the duration a little bit longer to simulate scanning. Let's see how that works. So we'll come in here, we tap, it does that. I'm going to press and hold the scan and see it's doing that. Now it's scanning. Let's see that again. So we press and hold. Imagine we've got, or we tap it. Tapping kind of just for prototype's sake. In my mind, the actual app you would press and hold just immediately. So now we press and hold the scan. Turns green. It's scanning. And then I think those little rays that I spent all that time making actually look ugly. And I think the green, honestly, also is breaking the premium vibe that I want this app to have. I guess we'll leave it green. Okay, and then when so now I'm gonna move this up and make it bigger, and we're gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna unlock this and make it a lighter color. And this is going to say pond scum, exclamation point. And then it will have like a little Wikipedia style blurb about the texture you've scanned is pond scum, native to the grodiest of swimming pools found in Southern California. No, y'all, I'm just like channeling the world, right, of the BuzzFeed article. This is not a commentary on Southern California. I don't know anything. The texture you've scanned is pond scum, native to the grodiest of swimming pools found at motels in Southern California. I also, y'all, this does not reflect my socioeconomic ethics or consciousness, right? Like, we're just being silly here. But at the heart of the matter, I care a lot about a lot of things. Just want to put that out there. And I did spit. So I wanted to put that out there too, I think. That being spit. Found Grody Susan found at motels in Southern California. Here are some of the local stats. See some of the local scans. Local stats, or see stats. There we go. For local scans below. And just like the regular interface font, like let's go light and let's add a little bit more line spacing. So I'm going to come in here and go from 18 to 20. Not bad. Okay. And then I do feel like we want this right justified. That's like not very legible, but and then I think this, there we go. So that's like what you've scanned. And then imagine like this is like a chart. Imagine that this is like a chart. Okay. Boom. How's about that? Let's go ahead and like make it a random, like, what's a red? Like that's a color we make charts out of, right? Statistics. And then maybe there's like a map that shows you where pond scum has been found near you. Obviously, this is sort of a silly, stupid idea. But I've gotten to show you a little bit of the prototyping process. We got to do some word association together. I hope you feel as though I have shown you the light of improv. And also that you've learned a little something about some of the things we begin to think through with user interface design and some of the cool features of Adobe XD and how to start wireframing something. So this, we're going to do a time auto-animated transition. We want to ease in and out, I think, and we'll do a 2-second delay. So we'll scan for 2 seconds and then it will tell us it's pond scum. So here we are scanning, and then look, it auto animated. So cute. And then want to see one more little trick. One more trick I've got up my sleeve is if I wanted to make this scrollable, I'll come back to design. I'll pull down the artboard. Whoop, I need to resize that. And so then this is like a map, and then maybe then we put like, I don't know, we'll add a calendar. Why not? Where did that calendar I added go? Maybe, okay, just because I want to be quick, I'm going to copy and paste these, and we'll say that these are like reviews left by other people. Just because I want to be able to show you, I just made this screen scrollable. See how cool? And then if I wanted, when it was scrolling, if I wanted to leave these two in place, so you can say fixed position by when scrolling over here. And then usually what I will do if I fix position of something is I will copy, I'll do that, no background, and I'll do like a drop shadow. And then since it's filled with a gradient, I'm going to do a linear gradient, and I'm going to try and match this in vibe as much as possible, so it fades like that. And then we'll do that. And then now this should, oh, right. Hold on. So this, oh, I know why. Okay, hold on. I didn't fix the position of this while scrolling. So now that should do what we want. Hold on, y'all saw that, right? So this and this and this, top layer, and we want them all to fix position while scrolling. So now it's still not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Imagine that. Failed demo. Let me do that. Did that do it? Manually setting it? Yeah, good. I was about to be annoying about the definition of insanity if that didn't work out. So that's rough. It's the app that you pull out if you need to figure out what something is based on the texture of it. I guess I didn't really get into like the Face ID of it all, but in my mind it uses like Face ID technology. And we got here based on these 7 randomly generated words: entitlement, rough, mold, pill, owner, white, and hostility. And we didn't really incorporate it that much, but I did kind of muse about it a little bit. The idea that maybe this is a more premium app. There's a premium version that is used by publicists and personal assistants, based on a BuzzFeed article that we got about 10 minutes into the ideation process. So that is how we do it here on Yes and UI. We try and yes and the obstacles thrown our way, and we make something from what we are given. And that's everything. Tune in next Wednesday if you liked this. We will do more Yes and UI. Tune in. We will not have a new music Friday live stream this week. I'm so sorry. Be sure to look at Bandcamp. Look at Album of the Year, I think is the website that I go to find whatever new releases are out. But be sure to support local artists and listen to a new album. I'm going to be out of office, so that is why I will not be coming to you this New Music Friday. But please observe the day nonetheless. Listen to something new, something good. Enjoy your day. I will see you tomorrow for something. We're going to be doing something on live. It will be a mystery live stream. I'm deciding that now because I don't know what we're doing yet. But it will be great and it will be fun. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe. Goodbye.